Faith can move mountains. Radio Maria, 91.3 FM.
The voice of truth.
All right, welcome to Active Citizens. Good afternoon. My name is Bella Anne Ndubuisi, your host on Active Citizens. Thank you for joining us today. Thank God it's Friday. I hope everyone has had a fantastic, we've had lots of celebrations in the last couple of weeks, but the last couple of days we've celebrated Eid for our Muslim brothers and sisters who have spent the last 30 days fasting. I hope that it was a good celebration for all of them. And for those who got a chance to enjoy 3-day holiday, it must have been nice. It must have been nice. And I know some people probably took Friday off as well. I didn't. I went to work today. I hope some of you who did as well had a chance to enjoy a good working experience. Thank you again for tuning on to the show. I have a very, very, very special guest on the show with me today. Very special guest, super special. I know everybody I bring on this show, I call them special, but this one is super dear to my heart, and I will tell you why. But before I tell you why, I do want to warmly welcome on this show for the first time on Active Citizens, Julianna Becker. Julianna, welcome on Active Citizens.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thank you.
First time on radio?
Yes.
How does it feel?
I'm a little bit anxious, actually.
I know you're anxious, but I know you do well. Julianna, please tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is Julianna, and I'm a second-year student of Medical Laboratory Technology at Ira College of Health, Kuje. And I'm a volunteer and also a participant of the just concluded Mega Designathon in Lagos, organized by the For Youth by Youth.
Fantastic. So that's Julianna Becker for you. We're going to you will learn a bit more about why I say this is someone who's special to me. But let's go on a short music break. So when we come back, we're going to properly introduce this show and we're going to get started. Don't snooze or you'll lose. All right, welcome back to Active Citizens here on 91.3 FM Radio Maria. Still your host, Bella Anne Ndubuisi, and I have my guest on the show today, my very special guest on the show today, Julianna Becker. Julianna, again, welcome to Active Citizens.
Thank you, ma'am.
Julianna mentioned earlier that she's a second-year student of Ila College of Medical Laboratory Science. Welcome on the show.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I say Julianna is a special guest because Julianna and I go way back to, do you remember what year we met, Julianna?
2016.
2016. She has a great memory. So in 2016, Julianna was a secondary school student at Government Girls Secondary School, Dutse. I had a regular mentoring program with the students of that school. And one day I'd showed up to that school, and I think Julianna she ended up being our guide. She just sort of walked into an interaction we were having. She sat down there the whole time. And that's how our relationship started. Literally, she just sat down. She was interested in the conversation. And she's been somebody who's always just been interested in learning something new. So I think her curiosity is what led her, or what brought us together. And ever since that one faithful day that we connected in 2016, we've stayed in touch. We've built a very good working relationship. It's been such a pleasure just watching her grow from a teenage girl to this wonderful, young woman. And I must say that it's just been a thing of pride. And so Julianna, before we delve into, it was also World Health Day on April 7th, right? Julianna is studying medical laboratory science at her university, so she is the perfect candidate to be on this table today, talking about the theme of World Health Day this year, which is My Health, My Right. But before we delve into that, Julianna, you mentioned earlier that you were a volunteer. Can you tell us a bit about your experience with volunteering and what led you to become a volunteer?
It has always been about giving back to the community and making an impact. So on one fateful day, I saw on a friend status that Tribe Africa was recruiting more volunteers for a program that was themed African Job Creation and Trade Conference Abuja. So I was like, why not give this a try if I actually want to be in that space of making an impact where I am. So I applied and I got selected, and that was my first volunteering experience.
Was it?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, that's fantastic. So tell us a bit about what you did with that particular experience.
Okay, when we went there, when it was day for the program, I think I worked under tribe secretariats where we were involved in registering participants that came for the program and leading them to where they would sit. It was more about active communication because from there I was able to learn how to communicate with different types of people. It's not just about one particular person all the time. I was able to connect with other people and engage them in a little bit of a conversation, and that was how I moved on. And I think that experience alone improved my communication skills.
Okay, that's fantastic. And I know you've also been a very active member of your community.
Yes.
Can you talk to us about some of the initiatives you've led as a member of your community?
Okay.
And what inspired your engagement with those, opportunities?
Like I said earlier on, it's all about giving back to the community and making an impact. So there's a school beside my school where little children come and they learn every day. So I was like, okay, why not just go to the school and tell these little children about healthy habits? At least it can help them to know the amount of germs or they're getting into their body and how they can keep themselves safe. So from school, I got an approval letter from my school provost, and I went to the school and I gave the letter to the proprietress, and she was like, okay, this is actually nice that I can come and teach the children on healthy habits. So I and my colleague at school, my classmates, we went to the school and we taught the children. I think it was like it was a 1 week program. We taught them every morning. They gave us like 30 minutes of their assembly time, and we taught them on how healthy habits, how to always wash your hands, how to brush your teeth, how to keep yourself safe from germ. And it was quite an experience because children loved teachings a lot, and they were able to take something back home to their parents and what they can implement in their everyday life.
Okay, so you've kind of always been in the business of using communicating health communication, essentially.
Yes.
And I know we're going to talk a bit about your participation in the design-a-thon that just happened last week, but why, of all the programs things you could have taught to tell these kids, why did you pick healthy habits? Why was this a topic that was important for you to share with the kids?
Okay, because healthy habits is very, very essential, and keeping healthy habits helps to protect you from getting infected by germs. And getting infected by germs, it might lead to typhoid, it might lead to food poisoning, it might lead to so many other things. And we as a parent, you wouldn't want that for your children. So now giving them that early education on how they can help themselves to prevent that particular infection from coming to them was actually key for me. So that was why I went into healthy habits. It's like they say, catch them young.
That's right. Very important. Catch them young. Fantastic. And what would you say, after having a chance to share that experience with the kids, how do you know that, what was the outcome of that particular engagement? How was it received?
Well, it was received with joy, I would say, because anytime I walk past that school, or anytime I walk past a particular student, they're always pointing at me that, yes, she taught me something, she taught me something, and it actually gives me joy that I've been able to impact in their life. And when I ask them, are you practicing this particular healthy habits at home? And children, they're always so excited to tell you that they're actually doing it at home. So I felt like that was just it for me. It was great.
So in what way, what are some of the skills you say you've picked up from your community service engagement or volunteering that you're now applying in your professional career as a student, as a college student?
First, it will be communication skills and leadership skills and teamwork, the importance of teamwork. I've been able to like work with different people, and I've been able to like say, okay, this is what I want, and they see me as a leader, they see me as somebody, okay, we are following Juliana to do this particular kind of thing, and I've been able to build that trust within my community as if as a particular person that is doing this particular kind of thing. So it's communication skills and leadership skills.
Fantastic. That's great. Glad to see that as you're giving back, you're also benefiting from the experiences that you engage in. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to go on a short music break. When we return, we're going to delve right into the conversation that brought us here today. So that's talking about World Health Day and Juliana's participation in the just concluded Music for Health Designathon. Don't snooze or you lose. All right, welcome back to Active Citizens here on 91.3 FM Radio Maria. Very thrilled still to have our guest on the show, Julianna Becker.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us again, Julianna. As I mentioned earlier and over again, super excited to have you as a guest on this show. April 7th every year, the world marks World Health Day. And this particular year, the theme for this particular year is My Health, My Right, which basically underscores the significance or importance of, ensuring that we make health access equitable, to everybody, everywhere, all over the world. And I think it hits very directly to a particular program that you just recently participated in called the Music for Health Designathon. First of all, can you tell us a bit about the Music for Health Designathon? How did that process all get started? You just recently came back from Lagos with a bunch of, young people super excited about how they can, do their part or play their part in promoting access to health for Nigerians all over the country. Tell us a bit about that program and how you got involved in that program.
Okay, the Music for Health program was organized by the For Youth by Youth in collaboration with Nigeria Institute for Medical Research. So how I came across it, I saw a friend of mine. He told me he is a For Youth by Youth ambassador. So he told me that a particular contest is going on where the For Youth by Youth is calling out for young individuals, aged 14 to 24, that can create a catchy, trendy, and informative song that will be talking about high blood pressure and stroke, that can give the listeners more information about high blood pressure and stroke. So I applied for it. I'm not really a musician, but when it comes to health, I always want to get involved because I am a health practitioner. So I called on my friends. Like my mentor, Aunt Bella always said to me that collaboration is queen. So the fact that I was able to collaborate with other individuals and we were able to go to Lagos to pitch our ideas. So how I came across those particular individuals, I'm not really good with like system and PowerPoint like that. I was like, oh yeah, why not I include Daniel into this? Yeah, he's a computer scientist, so yes, he's good to go. He can help us with all the computer stuff. And the idea I had initially included dance. I was like, oh yeah, I have a friend in school and she dances so well, why don't just like include her to it? And for the music part, Nathaniel, he sings, and I was like, okay, yes, I'm going to include Nathaniel to this. And that was how we came up with the team, and we called ourselves Fantastic Four.
I love it. Fantastic Four.
Yes, because we're all people from diverse places, and you a computer scientist, you a dancer, you a musician, and you a health practitioner. So it just summed up the team, and we inputted our idea, and we were lucky that we were among the participants that were chosen to go to Lagos for the Designathon.
Fantastic. So for people who are listening, they're probably wondering, what is a Designathon? And what is the objective of the Music for Health program? What would you tell them?
Okay, a Designathon is a place or a program where you are able to design a prototype on how your idea that you have can be implemented, or how it can work. How can we make this work? So that's why that is the purpose of a designathon. They can help you create the idea, and the designathon help you design and implement that particular idea you have in your head. It's all about bringing it out and making it obvious for everybody to use. So the importance, like why we went for that Music for Health, why Music for Health was like introduced, it's just to create awareness through music. Like I always say, Nigerian music has powerful influence on people. Everybody, once it's catchy, once it's trendy, everybody wants to listen to it. So they don't just want it to be all about just talking about wealth, money, women, and the rest. They want it to be something informative, something that can be able to be passed across every Nigerian citizen. So that was why Music for Health was created, so that they can hear about health through music. They can hear about high blood pressure and stroke through music. Information is about high blood pressure and stroke through music.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
And we're going to get a chance to actually play the outcome, the music that you and the Fantastic Four put together. But before we play that music, tell us what we're about to hear. What was first of all, who were you targeting with this music? And what was the idea? What came to mind as you thought about putting that music together? What did you want your audience or your listener to do as a result of the song that they heard?
Okay, what we wanted our listeners to do is to actually listen to the lyrics of the song. If you listen to the lyrics of the song very well, you hear they're talking about quitting smoking, don't drink, and daily exercises on how you can improve cardiovascular health and so on. So now we want our listeners to be able to incorporate that into their daily life. If you're smoking, stop smoking, because it actually leads to high blood pressure and stroke. If you're drinking, stop drinking. If you're not exercising regularly, it's actually good for you to exercise and do those stuff that will prevent you from becoming hypertensive.
Okay, so this was basically creative way to get those health information out to your target audience.
Yes, it is.
That's amazing. I can't wait to hear the music, but you have to wait to hear the music after our short music break. Don't snooze or you lose. Keep it on the low. We are one nation under God, and my blood pressure, keep it on the low. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I hope you all enjoyed the song. So this was created by Julianna and her Fantastic 14 for the Music for Health program. Congratulations. I love it. Very catchy, very catchy. If you listen, I know some of the lyrics that the things that you heard, I hope it's stuck in your mind. Some of the elements that it talked about was staying away from smoking, and making sure that you actively exercise, because these are some of the ways that you can reduce your blood pressure. So I see this, Julianna, as basically a campaign to prevent people from getting to the hospital. So this is a preventative measure, right?
Yes.
To ensure that people are doing all they can to stay away from the hospital.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing, and thank you for working with your team on this. What were some of the challenges you experienced actually on this project?
The fact that not all of us could sing, that was one of the challenges, because that was one of the criteria for judging. Like everybody needs to know how to sing, and that was just our challenge.
So who didn't know how to sing?
I didn't know how to sing.
Well, you just said, I just heard you sing. What you did sounded to be like singing.
And Daniel didn't know how to sing, and Christiana, she was just there. I think she knows how to sing. Yeah. Because at some point she joined Nathaniel on stage and they pitched the song. So it was basically just the challenge of us not knowing how to sing.
So did you all know before showing up that you had to know how to sing?
No.
Okay, so you didn't know what the judging criteria was?
Okay. Until we got there, and it was like everybody needs to know how to sing. But it didn't bring us down.
Yes. No, I think you did a fantastic. You definitely. I mean, not everybody will be the first in any competition, but just like you said earlier, the fact that you got there, that's already a win.
Yes, it's a win.
And I think that the biggest win will be what you do with the program now that the program is over, right? So we're going to talk a bit about your post-program plan. But let's first open up the phone line so that our audience can tune in and also ask any questions and just be a part of this conversation. Phone line is open 081-084-475-18. Again, our number is 081-084-475-18. You can call, send us a WhatsApp message or SMS on 081-084-475-18. All right, our phone line is open. So Julianna, I was asking earlier, what comes next? The designathon has come. By the way, how many people participated in this program?
40 teams.
40 teams of 4?
But no, not all teams are in 4.
Okay.
40 teams, then if individually we're about 140.
Okay, that's a pretty big amount. And this happened in Lagos?
Yes, it did.
Okay. So now the program is designathon. People have come, they've engaged in the program, they've gone. What comes next?
It doesn't just end in the mega designathon.
Mm-hmm.
It's what comes next is what we are going to use this platform, this particular advocacy to do to other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just because we didn't make it to the boot camp
Mm-hmm.
or our team didn't win. We're actually going to make a difference with this particular music. It doesn't just end here. We're going to continue making music and impacting the lives of people through music for health. That's
Okay.
what we're going to do.
And I know you're somebody who's very passionate about, health awareness and health campaign. For those who are listening now, what message do you have for them, even as we celebrate World Health Day, right? What do you want the audience to do differently? Whether it's like a behavioral change, what would you like to tell our audience who's listening today about the importance of taking their health seriously?
You have to take your health very seriously because they say health is wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And constant checkup, going to the hospital when you have any headache. Don't just go to the pharmacy. A pharmacist is not a doctor. Go and see a medical practitioner. Go and see a medical doctor if you're having any health challenge. Don't just settle for what is within you. Go to the hospital and make sure that you're properly checked. And for people that are hypertensive, you make sure that you take your medications.
Mm-hmm.
You adhere to the rules and regulations that your health practitioner has provided you with. And I came to understand that high blood pressure also has to do something with genetics. So if your father or your mother is hypertensive and now you know you're not hypertensive, you should always check.
Mm-hmm.
There's a need for you to always check so that in case you'll be able to manage it before it turns into something you will not be able to control. So it's advisable that you should always check
Mm-hmm.
your BP to be within the normal range of 140/90. Please check. It's important that we all check.
Very important. So when you check your blood pressure is not within the 140/90 range, what do?
You go see your doctor.
You go see your doctor. What if it's under 140, like if it's significantly lower? Is that a good thing?
It's normally the range is from 120 to
Mhm.
140. You just have to be within that
Yeah.
range.
So too low is a problem. Too high is a problem as well.
So you see your doctor.
Okay. So now you've come back from this mega designathon. Even I'm curious to know. Share some of the learnings from that program. What did you all get a chance to do? What did you experience? What did you learn? Tell us what happens in a designathon.
Okay, at the designathon, I've never been to a designathon before. That was actually my first. And standing in front of people and pitching a particular idea, I've never done that before.
Mm-hmm.
But before the day for pitch presentation, we were able to go through some sections where we were taught on teamwork, the importance of our why. Why are we here?
Mm-hmm.
The why is very, very important. We are
Mhm.
here because we want to create awareness of high blood
Mhm.
pressure and stroke. We cannot deviate from that. So
Mhm.
it taught us about teamwork, it taught us about the why, which is very, very important, and how to communicate and interact with people, and for us to know our target audience. Who are we passing this particular information to? So it was a very great experience. The experience was amazing. Even in the part of music, I saw how music is being produced, how they set you straight, and this is what you're supposed to do, and this is not what you're supposed to do. And the fact that I'm not really into music, I think I have an edge now because I know a little about music, and I can use it later on. So it was amazing.
That's good. Glad to hear that. Our phone line is still open, 081-084-47518. 081-084-47518. Call in and interact with us. Engage with our guest on the show today. Talk to us about, what are some of your thoughts on this year's World Health, Day theme, which is My Health, My Right. What can we all do to make sure that more and more Nigerians have access to healthcare across the country? Juliana, I'm curious to know, very, very curious. So, what did you know? What did you know as a result of this program? So, if you had to produce this music, right? You all went in with a particular pitch, with a particular music. What did you learn, and what would you do differently as a result of what you now know? Does that make sense? What did you get out of this program that, if you had a chance to do the music that you pitched earlier, would help you to reflect that music differently?
What I know now, what I would do differently, it's for the music to contain more information about high blood pressure and stroke. It doesn't really have to be with overthinking or taking too much salt. It just have to be something that is relative to what is happening around us, what people are experiencing, the signs of stroke, and how you can observe them and how you need to act and take the person to the hospital. So I think that is what I will do differently. We'll make our lyrics more engaging and more informative about high blood pressure and stroke. In that case, we'll be able to reach a wider range of audience, not just the youth, but everybody around us.
So now you have this piece of music. What is your plan to get this music out? Because you already have a piece of a product that is supposed to help an audience, think differently about their current behaviors and reflect on how, some of their actions may be leading to high blood pressure. What are your plans and the plan of your team to get this information out to the audience?
Okay, to release the song on AudioMac, all these music platforms where people listen to music, Spotify, AudioMac, and Boomplay, so that everybody can hear. And also on TikTok, like incorporating dance steps that has to do with cardiovascular exercises, so that as music is playing, it's giving you information about high blood pressure, and you're also improving your physical health. It's more like a win-win for everybody. So this is how we want to get it out, through social media platforms and radio stations and music.
So do you already have a dance step for this particular music?
Yes.
Do you want to show us? Even though our guests cannot see it, but I'm curious to see. We will interpret the dance, the show, the routine to them. She said she doesn't know how to dance. I don't believe you, Juliana. You have to show us what you guys have come up with.
I don't know how to dance.
Everybody can dance. No matter.
We are one nation. Under God and my blood pressure. I keep it on the low.
Okay. Everybody, because it's choreography. You just have to think of everybody. We all have bones in our body, and the bones can move. Yes. Some people can move better than the others, but you can't tell me that you cannot dance. The same way you can't tell me that you cannot sing. There are people who can sing better than the others, but singing, we all have a voice. So long as you have a voice, you can sing. This is a good place to go on a music break. When we come back, we're going to wrap up our conversation with Juliana this afternoon. Don't snooze or you lose. All right, welcome back to Active Citizens here on 91.3 FM Radio Maria, still with our guest, Julianna Becker, who was a recent participant in the Music for Health Design-a-thon that was organized by Youth in Lagos. Welcome back to Abuja, by the way.
Thank you.
And we're so glad that you had a chance to experience that program. Juliana, for those who are listening, especially the young people who are listening on the show today, what do you think? What role do they have to ensure that they're able to, make health information access more available to others? How can they be a part of promoting awareness around observing best practices in ensuring quality healthcare for all?
Like one of our mentors said at the design-a-thon, he said, we all have it in us. you all have the power to make an impact. You all have it in you. So you don't really have to wait for a contest. You don't really have to wait for a call for you to create awareness or for you to make an impact. You can start doing something yourself. If you have that urge and you want to, you can actually make an impact. So it starts with you to get to other people. You can start from your WhatsApp status, you can start from your social media pages, anything that is informative about health, if you want to dive into the health line. But as far as you're passing information to people, social media is one of the best tools in creating awareness. So you have it in you. So just start from somewhere and you get to wherever it is you want to get to.
For those who don't know how to start from somewhere, I want to ask, is Fantastic Four, are you open to taking in more people? Are you expanding on your teams so that you can also do more projects together?
Yes.
How can people connect with you? How can they, get more information about how to be a part of the campaign?
That will be put out on our social media platform.
You can talk about it now. Do you want to share your social media handles so that those who are listening who may want to join and be a part of your team can connect with you?
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram at Julianna Becker, then on Twitter as Julianna Becker.
You want to spell the Becker for those?
Okay, the Becker, Bekeh, that's for the Becker, then Julianna, Juliana. There's no H to Juliana, just ANA. So you can follow me and send me a message. If you want to be part of the Fantastic Four to make an impact, then we can bring you on board and we'll start from there.
Great. So what would you say, what are your final thoughts on, especially for young audience who are listening today, what are your final thoughts that you have for them about two things, right? So about volunteering, what would you tell them? What tips do you have for them, or what words of encouragement do you have for them about volunteering? And the second thing is, what words of encouragement do you have for them about being a part of active campaigns that would provide more information, democratize information for people when it comes to learning more about health?
Okay, for volunteering can help in your professional growth. It can help in your communication skills, it's self-development. So if you want to dive into volunteering, it's actually very good to keep you in that space of self-development. Then for the next question,
health, how can they get more involved in communicating about health?
They can just follow up people that have always been there talking about health to get more information on how they can go about it. Then they can start from there, getting the right information, not just passing information that is not health related. Not everything, it's when you see something online, it's not everything that is accurate, it's not everything that is true. So you have to make sure that you follow a real health practitioner, like a doctor online, anybody that has always been there giving out information about health. Then they can start from there. They can start picking one or two from there and they can implement it for themselves too.
Last question for you, and I'm asking this question because I know you're a reader, you like to read. What are the top 2 books you recommend to listeners to read? Like, in all the books you've read, what are the 2 books that inspired you the most that you'd like to encourage the audience to pick up and read?
Okay, the first book, my very first book.
I already know.
Why actually I do.
Yes, I already know.
And my second top book is Gifted Hands by Ben Carson.
Gifted Hands. Okay. Why do these 2 books? Why did they speak to you?
Okay, why I act the way I do helps me to understand myself better in the space of different temperaments and how I can relate with people more better. And Gifted Hands inspired me to become what I am today.
Really?
Yes.
All right.
Ben Carson's story was very, very inspiring, and it gave me that push that no matter where you are, no matter where you find yourself, you can actually do something once you set your mind to it. And I picked it up from there, and today I am studying the course, not the course I wanted to do, but I am still in the health line.
What is the course you wanted to do that you're not doing?
I had 2 courses in mind.
Okay.
First, it was nursing. Then second, medical laboratory science. Then I discovered that nursing, I'm going to have a direct contact with my patients, and the phobia for blood. Yes.
You're one of those people that are interested in health, but you don't want the icky part of it.
Yes. So, and I settled for the one that I am very comfortable with, and one I know that yes, with it I can be able to make an impact, medical laboratory science, and that's what I'm currently doing.
That's amazing. I'm glad that you're out there pursuing the course that speaks most to you and that you're very excited about. It's something that not a lot of people have an opportunity to do. So I'm very pleased to know that not only are you engaged in the course, but you're also actively engaging in an internship program that allows you to learn more practically about that. Do you want to share a bit about that as well? And also for people who are listening, talk to them about the importance of, getting involved or getting an internship or, volunteering somewhere, whether or not people are paying you, but just learning, through an organization.
Okay. Being part of Zoland's Diagnostic Center has given me an edge over my classmates, because basic laboratory tests that you have to go through rigorous processes to do, the fact that I was constantly volunteering there and helping around and learning, observing and learning, it gave me an edge over my classmates, because by the last time we went for clinical posting, they were, instead of me learning they were learning from me also, and also learning from scientists on ground. So it gave me an edge and gave me like a perspective on where I'm heading to, and this is what I'm supposed to do in the laboratory, this is what I'm not supposed to do in the laboratory when I get to that space and when I start working, when I'm done from school. So if you're studying a particular course and you have somewhere around you where the environment is more conducive and you can go there to volunteer and learn, I'll advise that you go there and start learning, so that by the time you get there, it won't be difficult. It will just be like a revision class for you. So that is the importance of internship and volunteering within your course of study.
Fantastic, Juliana. I think this is a great way and a great place to end today's conversation. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
It was such a pleasure listening to you and learning about what you've learned in the last year at the last week rather, at the Music for Health Designathon. I'm going to be checking on you regularly just to make sure that you continue to, implement and apply some of the things that you've learned, and that you continue to keep that, fire that this program sparked alive. And also they continue to share the knowledge that you've gained from, with other people, whether in your immediate community or in your external community, using social media.
Yeah.
But really, thank you for being a part of the show today.
Thank you for having me.
And for our guests who've tuned in this afternoon, thank you so much for joining our show and being a part of this conversation. We hope you enjoyed listening to us as much as we enjoyed engaging in this conversation. Until we come your way again next time, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. This is Bella Anne Ndubuisi signing off from the Office of the Citizen. Good afternoon.